थैंक यू सर।
ओके बोरा साहब इसमें जो मीन्स what a sort of change they are going to make in DTS. DTS course is so nicely has been designed, you know. So at every step people enjoy. We have seen
Yes,
that in
yes,
GTS, DOT, we have done in Assam also, and so
yes.
many places people just now had done in Pune also. So what is sort of change they are going to make?
How
Training,
to
their
change?
definition, planned process to modify knowledge, skill, and attitude to in a range of activities for effective performance to satisfy. This is the Oxford Dictionary. So some new definition has been given, or some curtailment from the existing syllabus they have done.
So, in fact, what the DOPT is thinking that from Karmachari to Karmajogi.
Yeah.
So, how to change it?
Okay.
And here for DTS, the knowledge part we can give by online classes.
Okay.
Hmm. Knowledge
Hmm.
part only.
Hmm.
The skill and the attitude part, it will have to be offline. So we have
Okay.
submitted the report. The report will be examined by DOPT. Either they can ask us to change it, or they can engage some consultants.
Acha.
Hmm.
So knowledge after giving the knowledge part, some skill part just like we have given lecture on this methods of training like this lecture, coaching, group discussion, group exercise. So after that we do the skill practice. After that we do the skill practice.
The
So
knowledge
both
part will
if
be knowledge part will be online.
knowledge part if that will be in online, so
Yes,
how this skill part without knowledge part giver will be successful
knowledge part will be given online earlier, and
earlier
then
and
yes, and then the skill part will be offline.
offline, so
Yes,
will it be so much successful like we sit in the class?
it depends.
Depends.
Yes, yes.
Because exact means exhibition of or exact utilization of whatever knowledge has been transferred to them, and if we are not doing face to face, so much may not be effective.
No, but it depends why it is so. Uh,
Uh,
Now everything is online. So we say
Everything.
that skill is the ability of doing certain things. So
Yeah,
without practice, skill will not be there. So
without it. Yeah.
so for skill, it must be offline. So the knowledge part, we can give some online classes, and then we can go for the skill part offline.
Acha. So 3 days maybe for this knowledge part and 2 days maybe for skill part. Two
two
days we
days
will
will
be
be 2.5 days will be knowledge part,
two and
and
a half days,
yeah,
2.5 days for the skill part.
rest will be skill part.
Acha. Okay, that is
Sir,
also
if
one.
you remember, you were there in Nalco,
Ah,
Odisha. So
ah,
you were conducting a workshop on the ethics and values for the senior
ye-
officers of the factory. So
yes,
you
yes,
and Mr. Perumal were there. So it was also.
yes, yes.
So what is the difference between two courses? Like you, Amitabh ji attended long back before 2016 and
Yes,
2016 then again the two courses were conducted on behalf of the DOPT. One was of the leadership development program and others was of ethics and values. So was it
yes.
different than the earlier program? Both were
Uh,
Panchagani.
Regarding ethics and values, the earlier one did not have
Yeah.
three things.
Hmm. Hmm.
One is the life's balance sheet.
Mm.
Then second is soul searching.
Soul? Pardon, sir?
Soul,
Soul searching.
Ach.
yes. And second thing that when the course was over in Panchgani,
Yeah.
it was for about 20 days.
Hmm.
And then we were asked to conduct it on some fresh IPS officers. Somebody passed, somebody failed.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
DOPT selected 8 groups. Out of 24, uh, 18 succeeded. 18 or 20. Uh, there were 8 groups only, and they are now conducting the course. And in Nalco,
Yeah.
here is a very good example. When I send the message to the MD, he said that these are so senior people that they can't come at 6 a.m. in the morning
Yeah.
because it starts at 6, ends at 7. So he said that it is not possible for them, very senior officers. I said, okay, then they will be missing the cream of the course. The
Okay.
cream is the soul searching.
Soul searching.
Unless and until you search your soul,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Correct.
you will not be able to reform from inside. So ultimately, on the request, they said they would be starting at 6. And on the last day,
Yeah.
all the officers admitted that if we would have not attended at 6,
Yeah.
we would have uh, mixed a lot. It was
Acha.
really interesting. Hmm.
That was difference, no, between two courses. Yeah,
Yes,
really,
yes, yes.
and in UP,
Ah,
Mr. Venkateshan Lu is a very senior I officer and
ah,
Director General of Academy UPAM. So
ah.
he is in search of people like you, sir, because here they are in the ethics and values. People are not being trained. So,
I see.
yeah, so that's and whatever you say that early in the morning if you observe the nature, really you will be
Yes,
able
yes,
to think over and reflect what is,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
So
Soul searching is a must.
yeah, and karma yogi,
Ah,
whatever
Walam.
crux is there, that is
Walam.
there. Ki you have to serve the people. So see,
yes,
and that's only comes when you reflect, na, what for
yes,
IAS and other officer they are in this present
yes,
scenario. Earlier,
yes,
when our India got independence, the role of IAS officer was different. But now
yes.
it is entirely because you have to look after the people now. If
Citizen centricity.
yeah, you have to take care of their needs and wishes.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
sir. Thank you.
So I think that okay, we are more than 10%. So we should start 7:10. Uh,
क्या हो रहा है?
so I will be in the meantime. I will be ringing other persons to join soon. And in the meantime, Nagesh Jha has come. नागेश झा जी, नागेश झा जी, आप अपना गुरु वंदना से शुरू करें।
हाँ सर, मैं
नागेश
शुरू
झा
कर
जी।
रहा हूँ सर।
हाँ जी।
मैं गुरु
हाँ
वंदना
जी।
शुरू करने के पहले जो
हाँ।
जो सिविल सर्वेंट हैं, मैं एक फैक्ट, एक सच्ची बात शेयर करना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि जो हम लोग के खानदानी पॉलिटिशियन थे तो बहुत सारी बातें छन छन के दादाजी लोगों से आती थी, मतलब अंकल लोग से आता था, तो वो मैं शेयर कर रहा हूँ। पहली बात तो ये थी कि जो इंटायर गैंगेटिक बेसिन इज फ्लोटिंग ऑन द पेट्रोलियम। अब बिहार में हल्ला हो रहा है कि बिहार में पेट्रोल मिल गया, बिहार में सोना मिल गया, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, ये सर सिविल सर्वेंट के लिए, इनिशियली देयर वाज एन इंडियन मैनेजमेंट सर्विसेज। इंडियन मैनेजमेंट सर्विसेज को उस समय के जो इंडियन ICS लोग थे उस ड्राफ्ट को ही हटा दिया ताकि उनका वर्चस्व बना रहे। इंडियन मैनेजमेंट सर्विस में ही आपका कंसेप्ट था फाइनेंस का, मार्केटिंग का, कॉमर्स, ब्ला 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 ब्ला। सो अपने देश की ये चीजें कुछ गुप्त बातें हैं जो कि दब गई, छुप गई, लोगों को नहीं पता चला, लोगों को किसी को कुछ बताया नहीं गया। तो यही बात मैं इस हाउस को शेयर करना चाह रहा हूं। फाइनेंस इज ऑलवेज इंपॉर्टेंट and with the blessing of Almighty, my son is also BTech MBA Finance, ICWFA जो इंटरनेशनल का होता है, जो भी होता है 1 2 3 वाला जो सारा चीज है, तो वो सारी उपाधियां वो पा चुका है, तब वो बहुत अच्छी कुर्सी पर बैठा हुआ है। थैंक यू। अब मैं गुरु वंदना प्रारंभ करता हूं। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेव महेश्वराय, गुरु साक्षात परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। अखंड मंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। थैंक यू। एक और स्पिरिचुअल इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर कर रहा हूं विद द हाउस। ये जो ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश हैं और जो गुरु हैं, इनके ऊपर भी परम ब्रह्म हैं। दे ऑल आर वर्शिपिंग द परम ब्रह्म। नंबर 1, ये जो अमिताभ जी की आशीर्वाद से, कृपा से और उनके इनिशिएशन से जो मैं पाठ करता हूं, इससे आपके अंदर जो भी रिसोर्स पर्सन हैं इस सेशन के, प्लस जो पार्टिसिपेंट हैं, उनके नाभि चक्र में गुरु तत्व होता है। हर आदमी अपना गुरु खुद बन सकता है, हर आदमी भगवान भी बन सकता है। ये सारी चीजें हैं, मतलब उस पर मैं गहराई में नहीं जाऊंगा। तो उसी गुरु तत्व को जागृत करने के लिए मैं ये पाठ करता हूं। थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू नागेश साहब, बहुत अच्छा, आपने वातावरण को शुद्ध बना दिया। संदीप जी, साकेत जी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो अपने आदमियों को बोल दें कि जल्दी जल्दी सब कुछ ज्वाइन कर लें और हम लोग अपना शुरू करेंगे। लेकिन इस बीच में हम अपने मुख्य अतिथि डॉक्टर उपेंद्रनाथ जी और मालीनाथ काशीनाथ जी का भी 2 मिनट अमृत वचन सुनेंगे। तो पहले उपेंद्रनाथ बोरा साहब बहुत आदर्शवादी हैं और उन्होंने अपने जीवन में बहुत अच्छा काम किया है, अभी भी सात्विक हैं और बहुत पोलाइट हैं। तो मैं उनका स्वागत करता हूं और अपने को और अपने ग्रुप को धन्य समझता हूं तो बोरा साहब और कालशेट्टी साहब और भी 2-3 IAS आने वाले हैं अभी। तो मैं सबको हमारे लिए हमारे वेबिनार में अपने पार्टिसिपेंट्स को मोटिवेट करने के लिए आते रहते हैं और हम लोगों का उत्साह वर्धन करते हैं। गॉड शुड गिव देम लॉन्ग लाइफ और हैप्पी लाइफ। सो बोरा साहब।
So good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir.
So first of all,
rather best evening, sir.
Sure.
Very good evening, sir.
So first of all, let me thank the organizers of this webinar who gave me an opportunity to mix up with this group. So the subject of discussion today is money matters, smart investment. It's really very important in our personal life as well as in our social life also. So the election is over. We were at fingers crossed. Our fingers were crossed who will come, who may lose, who may win, and all that. And during the exit poll, all of you have seen Sensex went up. As it says, stock exchange sensitive index. So it is really sensitive. So when the exit poll said that the NDA may get 360 or so, so the Sensex went up. Then again, during the counting time, when it came to about 260, it went down. So you see the sensitivity of the stock market. And when the result was out, it again came up. So it comes up and down. Sometimes it is up, sometimes it is down, and so it is sensitive index or Sensex. When it goes up, our money increases, and when it goes down, it decreases. Sometimes there are some people who are not interested to take risk. They simply put money in FD, fixed deposits with 7%, 8%, or 9% interest. But the return is so less in FD, we must think about something else. That is why this webinar is important. Because where should we invest? The choice is ours. Choice is yours. Whether you want to take some risk or without any risk, you want to simply keep it in FD and so. So I like to tell you about one of my personal experience. It is 25 years back. I was at that time joint secretary in the government, and HUDCO loan was there for housing. And the state
सर ज्वाइन
government,
करिए ना, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
the state government
है.
took the loan and
अच्छा अच्छा.
gave to all of us, the officers. Some of us,
बहुत अच्छे अच्छे लोग आए हैं.
some of us have
अच्छा.
kept in FD, fixed deposits, and some of us have invested in real estate, land. So after a few years, their income was around 8%. And those who invested in real estate, 100% or 200%. It increases like anything, real estate and gold. So we are to consider the investment plan. Where to invest, how to invest, whether we want to save money or create wealth. So the creation of wealth, you must consider this investment plan. Now, for this, the subject has given smart investor. Smart investor says that let your money do your work and not the other way around. The amount which you have got, you are putting it in such a way that what you want to do, your money will do. So it is smart investor. But the question of market volatility is there, that you must speculate. Now for this, we are to follow certain principles. These principles are mainly start investment early and invest consistently. It should not be that today I have invested, waited for 5 years, again I have invested, then later on. No, it should be consistent. Then build a diverse portfolio. Don't put all the eggs in the same basket. What will happen then? If the basket falls, everything will go. But if you keep it in different baskets, if one falls also, the others will save you. So we are to see that. And then don't chase the highest return. Who knows? The highest return can also go down. And lastly, we are to track investment regularly, because whatever we have invested, whatever we have speculated, we are to see it from the practical point of view. So these investment plans are wealth creation tools. We are to take the help of it, and we are supposed to increase our wealth. It will help to achieve our financial goals. And smart investment plan is an investment option which allows you to hit multiple targets with a single investment. So we are to follow that. Smart investment aims to create wealth and build a solid and long-lasting finance portfolio. So we have in our meets Shri Saket ji and Sanjip ji, who are experts on these lines, and I believe they will be speaking on it, and all of us will get benefit out of that. So with these words, I open the webinar. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
Thank you,
valuable
sir.
advice
Thank you.
and very important informations and guidelines had been given by you in very short time also, and that was very relevant also. And we should listen very carefully all the steps you have told, and the speakers will be telling. I appreciate Gaurav who had come to my house and after long time and just at the age at this age only I learned I saw the benefit of in smart investment. In 10 days my 30,000 40,000 has converted to 60,000 something 60,000 something in 10 to 12 days. So I thought that why I had not done, and Bora Saab has told that it should be started early. So young people should be initiated. I have rang so many people, and they told that they are seeing the oath and other things, and they are some of them have left that oath and come just like Kamal Piyush Saab, great man in the field of tourism, director tourism. He has come, and so many other people have also come. So there is some diversion in webinar, some attraction in this oath and match has lessened our this quantity of listeners. But even though those persons, I assure that who will be listening this webinar, they will be gaining so much. So I will request now our another special guest, our Kalshetti Saab, to say some Amrit Bani. Mallinath Kalshetti Saab is Director General of this Pune YASHDA. So I respect him too much, and he is also very gentleman, very nice man. And I got one jewel, just like Upendranath Bora Sahab. So Kalnath Shetty Sahab, Kal Shetty Sahab, we want to listen from you also some words. So Shetty Sahab, Kal Shetty Sahab, Kal Shetty Sahab, Kal Shetty Sahab, Kal Shetty Sahab, you are listening? Kal
Yes,
Shetty
yes, sir.
sir. Yes, sir. Please,
Sir,
some word.
सबसे आज का जो अभी डॉक्टर उपेंद्र सर जी ने जो इंट्रो है, मैं रिक्वेस्ट में करूंगा, बट I listen to I can answer in everyone is financial management very important. How I we all are they every take part in so the discussion we will do it for financial management. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Warm welcome to you also. Then I will request our speakers, Sandip ji and Saket ji, to speak. So, Sandip ji.
Thank you, Amitabh ji.
Sandip ji, please introduce yourself also. A small, a brief this introduction should be given by you for yourself.
Yes, so thank you, Amitabh ji, for this brilliant opportunity. In fact, I'm elated to be in presence of such educated and erudite people. Also, I'm thrilled that I'm going to present in front of people who have been heading the pinnacles of administration in different departments, which has been running the country so far. I am extremely, what do I say, fascinated by the way Mr. Bora started. In fact, I must say he covered almost 80% of the things that I'm probably going to say. So thank you, Bora sir, for setting the perfect context for this discussion. And it will be a scene on my part if I don't mention Mr. Jha. His Guru Vandana, probably being a Bengali, my Hindi has limitations, but his Guru Vandana has given me goosebumps and has rung a different note in my mind. Now, coming to myself, definitely in presence of people like you, sir, I don't know, it's very difficult and for me to introduce myself. I'll just try my best. So I'm born and brought up in Calcutta. My father was a chartered accountant, and hence I did my chartered accountancy. But yes, no, I didn't complete it. I cleared up to CA intermediate. Then I went on and did my MBA from ICFA Hyderabad. Apart from this, I have done my master's in commerce from Calcutta University, and I have completed my CFA. So this is my 20th year of career in the field of investment, wealth management. In these 20 years, I've observed the phenomenal growth of the economy of this country, in spite of different governments being in power at different times. And I have seen the phenomenal way the stock market has developed and investment as a concept, how it got popularized in this country. Because, as Bora said, our earlier notion of investment was basically fixed deposit or fixed income. The variations that were available was also not that much. And I must say that we, the retail people, the common people, didn't have much nice experience with stock markets. So at the beginning of the stock markets, there have been the 1991 Harshad Mehta scam, then again, which significantly ruined the wealth of lot of US 64 investors, which was the first initiative of launching of mutual fund, or the concept of unit based mutual fund in this country. Then we had Ketan Parekh scam, so on and so forth. So yes, stock market perception was risky. So with your kind permission, I would like to start a brief about the concept about investment. Definitely, before discussing and I'd like to keep it short, because I'm surely aware that people like you are already, you're the brightest minds, and you are already aware about the different concepts of investments, updated. Yes, but I try to, as they say, that great people don't do different things, they do the same things differently. So I'm not going to speak anything which is out of the world, probably which is something you don't know. I'm going to speak the very basic things. And yes, as Borasa said, investment is all about discipline and understanding your right objective for creating this wealth, and also understanding of the risk potential. So coming to it, that why fixed deposits stopped being popular? Because India as a country saw high inflation for a considerable period of time. Even currently, our borderline inflation numbers are still at 4.85%. So, how much returns does a fixed deposit offer? Ideally, I must say that at a current level, it's 7.5%, 8% on a very high side. If I talk about the inflation, that is basically 5%. So the cost of wheat, which probably is an essential commodity I consume every day, which I purchase of 100 rupees now, will become 105 rupees in a year's time. And my investment in fixed deposits, probably 100 rupees will grow to 108 rupees in a year. So basically, I'm only having 3% real return. It might apparently look that I'm making 8%, but no, I'm not making 8%. My cost of consumption is also increasing. Maybe wheat as a whole is only growing by 5%, or maybe food grains, pulses, the inflation rate is 5%. But if I consider the inflation rate of medicines, it is far higher. The educational inflation, which a middle-aged man like me has to follow, giving his daughter education, is also growing at a much higher pace. It's growing at an 8%. So if I put all my money in fixed deposits, I probably 5 years down the line won't be able to provide the best of the education which I intend for my daughter. So definitely fixed deposits on a gross fails to beat the inflation at a broader margin and squeezes my wealth creating potential. So what are the other options that I have? Yes, I'll definitely discuss about that. And is there any thumb rule of understanding that how much, say suppose I have 100 rupees to invest, how much money should I put in debt that is risk free, which might be fixed deposits, which might be corporate bonds, which might be corporate FDs. I'm not getting into details of that. How much might be in equity? Equity means, stock markets, maybe directly, maybe not directly, maybe through mutual funds, maybe through newer concepts like structured products. If I get time in this part of the presentation, I'll definitely try to cover it as well. Maybe through other investments which might give me more superior returns at a higher risk. So is there any science? Is there any thumb rule? Is there any research for 15, 20 years so that I can form an idea how much to put, money to be put at where, at what stage? How do I rate myself as a conservative investor or a moderately risk-taking investor? So all that we will try to cover. So, but is there any formula, or is there any broad number that, suppose whatever we do in our life, we try to have a benchmark. I guess, sir, you people will agree that, during our education times, we always used to have the benchmark. If somebody used to come first, we used to follow him as a benchmark. मेरे मार्क्स क्या उससे ज्यादा है, उससे कितना कम है, तो we used to put benchmarks into it. अगर पापा बोलते थे तू मैथ्स में 95 लाया, तो हम बोलते थे इनको फर्स्ट बॉय ने 96 लाया. So उसके बाद शायद कम गुस्सा करते थे. So we always have benchmarks in life, right? So is there any benchmark in the Indian context, a goal which I can set and I can tell myself कि मैं अगर ये return achieve किया, तो yes, as Bora sir said, my money is working hard for me. And अगर मैं ये return नहीं achieve कर पाया through all my invested, it might be real estate, gold, stock market, then I'm working hard to generate money, but my money is not working hard enough like me. It's falling back. Yes, there is a wise man, Mr. Warren Buffett. I guess in this forum, probably a lot of people have heard about him. So he's an American investor who has made his wealth only by investment into different asset classes, stock markets in America, across the world, and in different asset classes. So basically, he has no other profession apart from investment. So yes, he sets a benchmark. He says that the GDP growth rate of the country plus the inflation of the country put together should be the figure that you should try to beat with your investments. So in Indian context, let's understand. Our current GDP, as the headlines say, is 7.2%. Our inflation, I said, is 4.8%. That was reported last quarter. So 7.2 plus 4.8, that is 12%. If I am earning more than 12% a year, I must say that yes, my money is working hard as I am working. If my investments fail to reach 12% per annum return, then I am working harder than my money. Then I should relook at the investment portfolio I have, and if required, I should change. I should rebalance. I should understand. So, having said the ideal targeted return, how we can achieve it. Now, before we talk about achievement of a particular set of return, let's understand the background. Why the background is important? The background is important because all of us must agree that had we been in Palestine currently, or maybe in Ukraine, investment wouldn't have been the first thing in our mind. Probably we would have been much busy in protecting our existence, our life. But why we have the luxury of thinking about investment? Because we are part of one of the largest democracies of the planet. We are fortunate to have a stable government for last 14, 15 years. Our democracy is matured. Our population demography is at probably the best point, having the maximum number of youth. And now I'm more optimistic because I was hearing to Bora sir about the skill development programs they have been talking about. So now I understand that yes, the government is also significantly thinking how to upgrade our skill. They are not sitting hand on hand just by saying that yes, we have the highest amount of youth in this country, will be employable. They are trying to impart the right skill set in the best possible way to make them fit to compete for a job in this growing and thriving economy. So yes, the demography is positive. So we must talk about the background, that is the country which we are in and how it has been doing so far. That probably will put a context about the investment, the broader perspective. So what has been the country? So 1947, we got our independence. The size of our economy was $20 billion in terms of US. Today in 2024, basically 75 years, we are currently at 3.75 trillion, making us the fifth largest economy in this planet. So how much we have grown from 20 billion to 3.75 trillion? Probably 80 times in this last 75 years. And from our childhood, we have been hearing that India is an overpopulated country. 140 crore population is the current population of this country. Compared to other countries, we are smaller in size. USA, with a much lesser population, is around 2.5 times of our size. Russia, with a much lesser population, is probably 2.5 times of our size. China is much bigger than us plus have a lesser population. Australia, New Zealand, I mean, huge area, very little population. So, what is so positive about us? 140 crore populations, relatively smaller country. No, I am not saying the country is small. The country is obviously very, very big. But compared to the developed nations, per square feet area, per head, probably, we are not that high. So, what's so positive about our country going ahead? Yes, the positive is that 50% of this particular population is youth force. So that puts the number at 70 crore. Now, if I throw this 70 crore number singularly, doesn't make much sense. Let's understand the population of the world. USA has only 26 crore population. The average age of US population is probably currently 40 plus, 43, 44. So their employability is reducing. Europe has a 70 crore population, and as they say that Europe is a living museum. The average age of Europe is 50, 54 plus. Japan, the average age is 50. China, even after their successful two-child policy, which is creating a dent in their population, their older population has grown. So it gives me a reasonable confidence to say, going ahead, India will be exporting a lot of manpower outside, and that will help us earn a lot of foreign reserves. That is one very big positive that is coming across. Secondly, what has grown in India, internet. Again, that has changed the way we think, the way we do business for the last 10 years. Now, currently, we have 40 crore internet users out of 140 crore. And the figures as they put that by 2030, probably we will reach 100 crore internet users. And it can be much earlier than that as well. Just to give you a brief perspective of the stock market, yes, there's a basic formula and a relationship about the economy and the stock market. After the up and down post, exit poll and post government formation or pre-government formation, we are at a stock market size of 5 trillion US dollars. As I said, our economy size is 3.75 trillion. So if I divide 5 trillion by 3.75 trillion, I get a distinct ratio of 1.3%, 3 times. Let's keep that in mind. Now, what are the projections of economic development going ahead by say next 7 years, 8 years? So we have significant reasons to believe, not only from the Indian context, but yes, from the global context, when global agencies like IMF, UN, and different economic forums are projecting that by 2030, India should be reaching a 7 trillion economy. Now, as I said, that the ratio of stock market to economy is 1.3. So by 2030, if India reaches 7 trillion economy size, our stock market size on a very lower side should be 9.1 to 10 trillion. So that gives me a reasonable confidence to tell the erudite forum here that from current levels in next 7 years, stock market is definitely going to double. Now, if the broader stock market doubles, there will be definitely pockets, definitely sectors which will do much better than the broader stock markets. Probably if the stock market doubles in next 7 years, these pockets will probably be 3 times, 4 times, creating a considerable wealth. And have we seen situations like this in similar time in similar situations? Yes, USA after 1930s get depression. From 1950s to 1970s, 20 whole year had a secular stock market run. multiplying the investments, the investors' wealth. And China again has seen 20 years or 2 decades of phenomenal economic growth. There are multiple indicators which probably gives us the confidence to believe that India is probably in next 10, 15 years time, irrespective of the government in power, there might be minor delays, minor misses due to governmental changes. But irrespective of that, because of the quality of the nation, the stage, the scale that we have reached, definitely is probably at the same hockey stick bend where China was standing, say, probably 30, 40 years back. US was standing probably 50 years back, 60 years back, 70 years back. So how we capitalize the opportunity that lies in front of us, that is one of the things to be second. Or also the fact that cements this belief is again the right stress. India in last 20 years have grown phenomenally in the service sector. We have seen the inception and rise of the information technology giants in this period, like Infosys, TCS, Wipros of this country, which still generates a huge amount of foreign exchange reserves for the country. If I am not wrong, probably it's $750 million a month, which is huge. Currently, India's forex reserve is 600 billion. Again, it's at one of the highest times. The kind of spending that our government has been doing on infrastructure, specifically in terms of railways, roadways, I must say proudly has been highest among all the other countries of the world. In fact, we have beaten China, Japan, US in the per kilometer construction of railways that we had. The government has taken the Bharat Broadband project, by which they attempt to connect most of the panchayats of this country, which is probably I won't try to put a number to the number of panchayats that is there in the country, as the last data says that 30 to 40% of the work is complete. We have seen the revolution of UPI, the rise of GPay, Paytm. I don't know whether the forum currently has participated in this bandwagon of electronic payments, but I must say the benefits. Initially, the flow of credit never used to reach the marginalized section of the society, the small businessman, which this country is known of. When I talk about small businessman, I'm talking about the pakoda wala, the pani puri walas. They never had any access to credit, any small businessman. They never had any access to credit. Now, what UPI has changed? These same people used to go to a bank manager and probably used to say, sir, I need a loan. The bank manager said, do you have any ITR, any proof of income? Do you have any figure on your side? How much you earn? The guy used to come back with a sorry face that, no, sir, I don't have any figure. But once a pani puri wala starts receiving payment through GPay, UPI, Paytm, he has a clear record on his mobile, the amount of money that has been transferred to his bank account. Now that gives the bank manager an idea about the monthly income flow this person has. Based on that, now he has an access to credit. That probably is again creating a silent revolution in this country, which probably sitting here we are failing to understand. And I want again put a number to the potential of this kind of small initiatives. Manufacturing was a weak side of this country. Yes, the current world has thrown a area on opportunity. There's a lot of distrust on China, which has given us an opportunity as to become a global manufacturing hub. We have been successful in establishing the groundwork for the first semiconductor fabrication industry or the chip making industry, which is again a phenomenal success. We have gained significant momentum into space technology. Multiple startups and new companies are working in space technology. We have seen.
Randeep
Yes,
Chab, we
sorry.
want to know one chartered accountant also has joined, Sonali Kishore. One chartered accountant has also joined. I welcome Sonali ma'am. So we investors want to know we want to listen what important points we should take into consideration while making investment, and where we should invest so that we can double our money, triple our money in a short period. So we want a ready-made formula from you experts. So step number 1, 2, 3, 4 we should take, so that in the webinar is for 1.5 hours only. So we will get the ready-made formula and ready-made benefit from this webinar, sir. Please, please.
Yes. So, Saket, I guess we should start the portfolio approach
Yeah,
and
definitely.
understand the different products to which we can capitalize the different opportunities that we can here talk about. Uh, I guess, again, as I've been saying, that what is our target return? As I said, that 13% or 12% should be our targeted return. What are the different instruments and how we should construct a portfolio?
Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, it is visible. So, Saket, from here you can take over the presentation. I will chip in when and where I feel is required.
So good evening, everyone. So let's start our presentation with the portfolio approach. So basically, as the baseline Sandip sir has given, what are the economy is growing on and what all way of the investments we have. So let's start with like investing, make your money work for you. The first thing. So they are the people in different segments. So what are the segments? Like your job professions you have, then you have current expenses, out of which you go to the savings. So like suppose whatever the profession you have, you will get one income. That income, what you do, first thing you will go for the expenses, then you look out for the savings. And these savings go to the investments. Again, on the same way, these investments can create another income. So basically what happened, currently we are looking at only one income, which is from either from your job or from your profession. But actually when you go for the investment, so usually what we have seen, that we say like, let our money work for us. Usually what we are doing, we are working for money, but our money is not working for us. So basically there is a minor difference between saving and investments is like, saving will give you just a ample amount which you can use in your critical time. But at the same time, investments will generate a new income for you. So these investments can be used in your future expenses, which can be your either whatever the goal you have. It can be either your house making, your child education, your child marriage, your retirement planning. This can be your future expenses. So generally what happens, this portfolio approach will give you an idea how to plan for your future. What are the instruments you can use for your investments? So at Nuvama, what we have our client first philosophy, which is the unbiased solution. So here what we provide, it is a goal-based or current portfolio-based approach what we are using, in which we first assess the risk of the customers. So risk can be differ. For a short-term period, the risk can be differ. People at the age of 50, the risk can be differ. At the same time, people at the age of 20 can take higher risk. So this, what we do, the first step, we do the goal assessment, then we go to the risk assessment. On the basis of the risk, we go for the third point, which is the asset allocation. So we'll come again in the next slide what asset allocation is and how we do this asset allocation all about. Then the last one is the effective solution. What happens, like asset allocation you can do by yourself also. There are a lot of tools available on the market where you can do by yourself. But the major thing, like the generating alpha. Alpha is like what are the normal return you are getting, adding some value on that. So at Nuvama, what we do, we add on the value to the normal investments what you have done, or we provide a goal-based approach to create a new investment rule. So these are the three effective solutions which we provide: enhancing the returns, reducing the cost, and the tax efficient. These are the 3 points what we take care when we are creating the goal-based approach for our clients. Everybody knows time is money. So as Bora sir initially also told, like the investments should be started at the earlier age. So these are the 2 different person. One is Ram, another one is Syam. Ram started his investments at 25 years age with a 10,000 every month investment with an IRR of 10%. At the same thing, you can see the Syam started investment 25,000, which is 2.5 times more than Ram, and his IRR is 10% also. So can anyone guess what is the retirement at the age of retirement 55? What is the portfolio these people have? So Ram creates a wealth of 2.26 by investing 36 lakh rupees. Any guess what is the Siam investments value? A rough idea? As Siam has invested 25,000 rupees per month. You can unmute and tell. No issues. Okay, let's see. So you can see the difference here. Siam has invested 45 lakhs, which is again higher than Ram, but his total wealth is just 1.4 crore, which is less than half of Siam. So that says whenever you start early, it will give you the compounding effect, which will increase your total area. So the main idea is here, like Ram creates more wealth than Siam by investing lesser amount. Now, everybody has a same question. What can be the best asset class where you can invest your money? As all of we know, like there are different kinds of asset class, basically majorly known as equity, debt, gold, and real estate. So everybody is confused, like which asset class should I invest? So this portfolio approach will tell you which is the best asset class where you can invest. So now we come to the asset allocation. Why we do this asset allocation? As we have seen, there are 4 different assets. So investment objective are capital appreciations, safety, assured returns, and liquidity. So majorly whenever we are investing an amount, we have measure what is our first measure goal. Our money should give a good return with a assured type of return where like the safety should be there, and liquidity. That is a major thing. Whenever I require the money, I should get that money back. These are the prime objective whenever we are investing anything in any instrument. Now, again, the second thing, as all of you know, we have shown 4 different asset class, and definitely these all single asset class can't reach all the objectives. Like if you go to the part of equity, equity can give you the higher return, but again, it's not an assured return. Equity, you will have the liquidity, but safety part as the market, it's depend on the market conditions. So at the time when you are trying to exit, might be the market down, so your money can be down also. Again, we come to the debt. Debt will give you the secure return, but at the same time, the liquidity will be constant. Again, the rate of interest will be lesser. So as we say, if you go to the gold will give you a 10 to 12% kind of return in a longer horizon. But again, liquidity, when you are going to sell the gold, it can be the form of the physical gold. You will have some issues at the time of selling also. And real estate, always know, it requires higher amount of investments to buy something, and liquidity is very less in that. So definitely there is no single asset which can meet all those objectives of investors. Now, as I told you, like each asset class has a distinct risk and return profile. Asset class move in a cycle. So everybody knows, like when we say like the investments, equity, if you look out from the beginning to now, it has given a good return. But at the same time, always be in a cycle. Same thing with the debt and gold also. And real estate also, if you see, there is a phase when real estate is at boom. Again, there will be the phase that it will not perform as compared to the last year. So that's why we require the asset allocation, which avoid this psychological trap. Usually what happens, as initially we have said, we want to make money. But the fact is that money is not always made in all the asset class. It's always the discipline what you follow in your investments, and the diversification you use in your investments will fetch you the good return. So now this is an example. Like these are the different asset class when we talk about, and for last 20 years. If you see the calendar years, these are the calendar years, and you can see this green one. Green one are the winner of that particular year, and the red one are the loser. So what you can see, not even if you talk about Nifty. So Nifty 50, you can see there are many years which is when it has given very good return. At many times it was in a mid kind of return, and when sometimes it has losers also. If you look out this, say 2008, 52% it has given negative return. At the same time, 2011, 24% negative return. You come down to 2015, 16, again it has a negative and very less return. So you can see here, like it's not like always Nifty has or equity has given a good return. Now again, in equity segment also, if you come out and diversify it in a mid cap or large cap escape or small cap escape, you can see here also it's not always like all the years it has given this good returns always. Same case of debt also. If you look out debt, they are 15 and 16 when the debt are the winners. Same in the 2009 also, 8 also, the debt are the highest return giver in the asset class. When you come to the gold, you can see gold is a hedging instrument which we use for our daily life, and you can see the difference. It's hardly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years where it is outperform all the other asset class. So what is the main constants here? Like if you are investing in a single asset class, it's not always guaranteed it will overperform or outperform all the other asset class. So there should be always a mix of asset class in your portfolio, which can give you the return as per your goal. So now again we come to the risk and investment horizon. As I told you, like equity, it's for purely for capital appreciation, but the risks are very high. Investment horizon should be minimum 3 years. If your goals are less than 3 years, we recommend don't enter in the equity part because it can not achieve the goal what you are looking out for. Again, popular products, as you know, stocks, mutual funds, PMS or ULIPs. The return CAGR 12 to 15%, as Sandip said earlier also said, like the healthy return is your current GDP growth rate plus your inflation. So that is if you calculate it on the current scenario, it's around 12%. So overall CAGR, if you look out, it's 10 to 12 to 15% CAGR, which equity has given. When we come to the debt, it's a very loved product in our. If you go to the 19 and earlier people are even still also that if you look out at the FDs, India has a FD book of 150 trillion. So you can consider what is the amount of the FD we are having. But when you look at the return is highly 6 to 8%, which is less than your GDP growth. At the same time, if you reduce the inflation, you will find out it's hardly 2 to 3% you are getting the real return. So debt is a regular income product. It can give you a regular income product. Real estate, capital efficiency is there. Risk is very high. Investment tenure is minimum 3 years. It can be direct property or REIT. But if you look at the 10 years CAGR, it's hardly given 5 to 7% of the return. Same with the gold. It's, as I told you, it's a hedging tool which is we used against the inflation. The risk is very low, and investment horizon can be anything. It can be invested in the gold fund, which is physical gold, jewelries, or ETFs. The CAGR is 11 to 13%. So these are the 4 different asset class and the investment horizon for this. Now, when we talk about asset class, so Sandip sir,
I'm there, Saket.
So
we're doing fine.
Yeah. So now, when we talk about the
be a bit quicker, Saket.
Yes, sir.
We have a time constraint, so just be a bit quicker.
Fine. So now, when we come about the thumbs rule of investments, I'll come down from the first one. So how quickly your money will grow? The first question which will come in your mind. So there are 3 different rules. Rule 72, which is 72 divided by your interest rate, whatever you are getting, will fetch you your number of years to double your money. The same thing, rules 114 divided by interest rate, it's for triple of your money. And rule 144, which is 144 divided by interest rate. So number of 2 quadruple your money. So for example,
so basically this says कि आपका पैसा कितना जल्दी डबल होगा, ट्रिपल होगा और 4 times होगा. ये जानने का कोई आसान थंब रूल है क्या? Yes, if you are getting 12%, that means आपका पैसा डबल होने में 72 by 12, that is it will take 6 years. Every 6 years you will double your money. If you want to know कि मेरा कितना time में 3 times होगा, so 114 by 12, that is the return you are earning. So basically that comes 10, close to maybe 9. So basically it will take 9 to 10 years to triple your money, so and so forth. We have covered this. What is real income?
Yeah, inflation we have covered. Now we'll go to.
So this is again, there is another rule which says कि मैं कितना interval में अपना portfolio को health.
Sir, this is second rule.
Possibly, yes.
The equity allocation part. Is it visible?
Yes, yes.
So now, as we told, like how much equity or what should be the proportion of the asset class in our portfolio. So their simple rule is 100 minus 1 is that should be your equity allocation. So suppose if I'll take my age, 37 years. So my equity allocation should be 63%. So that will come somewhere in this aggressive part. If someone age is 50 years, his equity allocation 50 minus 100 is 50%. So debt and equity gold he can allocate as per this requirement. If someone is senior citizen 70 plus, then his equity allocation go to 30% or less. At the same time, the remaining part we should move towards the debt part and gold. It should always have mix of all these proportion in our allocations. So suppose rebalancing what we are doing. For example, Nifty in 2005 was 3001. So my 60% was my equity allocation, 40% was my debt allocation. So 100 is the total. There is no reallocation needed. But again, if you look out, my age is grown, same times my asset should be relocated. It should not remain the same. Suppose right now I am at 38, but again after 5 years, my asset equity allocation should come down and debt part should move more. And the same thing with the gold also. Now, when we talk about portfolio rebalancing, rule number 3, which is called 525 rule. So rule 5 says rebalance.
For India, or for a country like India, we generally follow a 10 by 25 rule.
So that is a 10% of, we can deviate by 10% in our
So every time my portfolio value increases by 10%, I look at my portfolio and understand if everything is going good, something I will change. And again, everything, if my portfolio grows by 25%, again I have a relook at it. That what is to be done if some changes are to be made. Absolute growth of 10%, I put one check. Again, at absolute part of 25%, we should put another check at the portfolio. Saket, continue. So once again, जब हम लोग ने allocate कर ही लिया कि equity में what is the amount of money we should put, it depends on my age. If I am 40 years old, then my equity investment should be 100 minus 40, that is 60, and 40% should go into debt. So again, when I chose that 60% of my portfolio should be in equity, how much should be in the top companies of the country? How much should be in the middle level companies of the country, and how much should be in the smaller companies, which have the potential to grow into large companies over a period of time. So one rule said that suppose again I'm 40, if my equity portfolio is 100, 60% should go into large cap. That is safe, sound, and represents the best companies of the country, like HDFCs, HDFC Bank, State Bank of India, Reliance, Tata Steel, so on and so forth. And the rule 2 says that don't follow the allocation of age in equity. If you have to invest 100 rupees in equity, 50% should be in the top 50 companies, 30% should be in the mid-cap companies, and 20% in the small-cap companies. Saket, there's a question.
Yes, sir. Is there a question?
And rule 3 is conservative. How we do a conservative portfolio, or the conservative portfolio is that I don't put my head. I entirely put my money into the top 50 companies of the country, which has the history of giving me a 12% growth year on year since the beginning of stock markets. If I want to say that I want to take a little bit more risk, I don't want to restrict myself to 12%. I want to make 15, 18% return. Then 70% should be in the large cap, 20% should be in mid cap, and 10% in small cap companies. So mid cap companies doesn't necessarily mean unknown companies. As per definition of SEBI, top 100 companies of the country is large cap, 100 to 250 companies is mid cap, and any company below 250th rank in terms of size is small cap. So that's it. And aggressive means that I want to beat 20% plus return. Then 50% can be maximum in large cap, which will give me 12%. Mid cap should be 30%, which average should give me 18%. Small cap should be 20%, which should generate a 25% kind of a return for me per year. Thumb rule 6. This is a major mistake. Now all of us has understood what mutual fund is. Mutual fund sahi hai is an advertisement that is going on for quite number of time. Lot of us have invested and we have understood that how beautiful the returns has been. But the mistake we make, when we as professionals go out and meet clients, we see that one person has invested into 30 different mutual fund schemes. Is he doing the right thing? Is there a history to understand that how many should be the number of mutual funds you should hold in your portfolio? Because you have to understand mutual fund means a portfolio. The fund itself is making a portfolio for you. And by making a portfolio, it's diversifying and minimizing risk. Now, if you increase the number of funds, you are creating excessive diversification. And it is reducing your returns. It will not increase your returns. So just to understand how many mutual funds we should have in our portfolio, ideally it should not be more than 8 to 12. And in this 8 to 12, I should be able to cover my large cap, mid cap and small cap, all the funds, but it should not go beyond 8 to 12. If I am creating more mutual funds than 8 to 12, I should immediately relook at my portfolio, find out the mutual funds which have performed the best over a period of 3 years and 5 years, and reduce the smaller mutual funds, the excessive number of mutual funds, and strengthen the high performing mutual funds. That is a simple trick. If all of us present in this forum, if we do coming from tomorrow, I can guarantee you that the returns of your existing portfolio, existing money will increase by 2%. That's a simple experimentations we have done over with mutual funds for last 10 years. So how many number of large cap mutual funds we should have? 2 to 3 at best. Mid cap, maximum 2. Small cap, maximum 2. So 3 plus 2 plus 2, that is 7 mutual funds in the equity side, 7 to 8, as I said. It can on a higher side go into 12. Say it can be some debt fund, say which is ideally 1 to 2. Sectoral fund. So as I said that the stock market will go from 5 trillion to 10 trillion in next 10 years, 7 years. There will be some pockets, maybe metal, mining, shipping, railway stocks, infrastructure stocks, which will grow at a higher speed. So I might invest in sectoral funds. All put together should be 12, 8 to 12 funds. Saket.
So now we come to the thumb rule number 7.
Now again, before we get into this, is there any trick to select a mutual fund? What should be the major things I should look at? There are certain definitions called, one is return. But as Saket said in the beginning, in equity, return should be checked minimum at a horizon of 3 years. So when I check a return of mutual fund, I should check 3 years return, I should check 5 years return, and I should check 10 years return. Ideally, we should not invest into a mutual fund which has not completed minimum 3 years of existence. However attractive the 1 or 2 years return might seem to be, we should not. A fund manager should have a minimum 3 years time in market before we press money with him. Now, and also this is the return part. We should check 3 years, 5 years and 10 years return. Secondly, we should not only get fascinated about the absolute return, we should also see that each mutual fund has a benchmark. Say suppose HDFC's mid cap fund, it has a benchmark of NSE mid cap or BSE 500, which is a benchmark. So how it has been able to beat the benchmark? If the fund manager is not able to beat the benchmark, then why am I paying a fund management expenses to him? So that understanding should also be there. I should also see that how my fund is performing vis-a-vis benchmark. Not only it's whether it's 5, 15%, 18%, 20%. Is the benchmark that doing better than my fund? Then I have a reasonable reason to change my fund if my fund manager is not performing up to his benchmark. Thirdly, what is the number of stock that mutual fund holds? If a mutual fund is holding more than 70 stocks, it is not going to generate the amount of return that you desire. Ideally, we should be able to choose mutual funds which ideally have 40 to 50 stocks. Last is there any other investment which can beat mutual funds being in equity? Yes. If we talk about the history of mutual funds for last 10 years, the large cap funds, as Saket has said rightly, has delivered a return of 12% per annum, which is good. Some mutual funds in the large cap space has been able to deliver 13 to 14% return, which is also good. Then there are mid cap funds which have delivered around 18 to 20% return, very good. Small cap funds have delivered 33% return, but very selected few. Yes, there is a concept called portfolio management service, which is a much focused, much well-managed version of mutual fund, where the fund manager doesn't go beyond 25 to 30 stocks, gives individual attention to each portfolio, and they have been successful in generating 35% plus return year on year since last 3, 5, 8 years, mostly. So, but yes, PMS has a minimum investment criteria of 50 lakhs, whereas in mutual fund, you can start with 100 rupees also. So what I wanted to say that returns can be far higher. Is there a possibility of making 40% return a year? Yes, there are products called private equity fund, which invest essentially into the unlisted company, the startup, the unicorns of the country, which probably will grow at a speed of 15x, 20x. As Amitabh has said, that people will be interested in finding out avenues which can, grow their money by 2 to 3%. We simply have launched a fund, and there has been other funds like Inflection Point Venture. It's a private equity alternative investment fund where the minimum investment maybe starts at 1 crore, but they have been successful in tripling the money in 5 years' time. We ourselves, Nuvama, as a company, have run a fund in private equity, very successful, has been awarded as one of the second best funds, Discovery, which has been the history of generating 35% return since inception. So yes, there are possibilities of generating 35% return. When I say 35% return, I'm talking that 2 years the money should be doubling. But yes, the risk associated is with higher. The risk associated is a bit higher. But there are chances. Coming to life insurance, so these are the different ways we can attack equity. One is through mutual fund, one is through portfolio management services, another is through alternative investment funds. Continue, Saket. And I guess in next 10 minutes, we should be able to complete the presentation because we have been blocking people's time for quite some time.
Yeah. So now we come to the rule number 7. So basically what happened, what earlier we have talked about the wealth generation. Now another part is wealth protection. So generally what happened with all these rules, there should be human life value method. So generally what happened, we have a value for everything, but we don't value our life also. So we have to value our life also. So what is the human value life method is like 20x of your annual income. Whatever is your annual income, your life cover should be of 20x of that. So in case of any mishappening happen with you, your family's whole life is protected under that. The second thing comes is the income replacement, which is your current annual into years left to retirement. So these are like the guaranteed return where like the endowment plans are there, which will give you a certain kind of return after your retirement. So suppose if you are 60 plus, then you need some regular income. So for those kind of things, you can go with this income replacement life insurance plan, which will give you a guaranteed return. for a long horizon. Along with that, whatever amount you have invested, that also is returned at the end of the period. The another part is health insurance, so which is 100% of your annual income or 5 lakhs, whichever is more. So you should always keep in mind, like whatever is your annual income, your health insurance cover should be 100% of that annual income, or minimum should be 5 lakh. Now, new investment avenues, as sir has already told, like there is fixed income. So generally what happens, we have learned in fixed income about the mutual fund, debt mutual fund, or we have learned about the FDs. But there are other instruments also which gives you the opportunity to generate a handsome return. So generally what happens, there are corporates who comes up with these NCDs, non-convertible debentures. These are a secured kind of things where like they rated by
These are
the
secured investments which has the history of generating more than 10% return in debt. So it's not that when we come to about non-risk taking investment, we are restricted to only fixed deposits. We are only restricted to rates of 7.5%, 8%. There are fixed income opportunities with very less amount of risk, negligible amount of risk, or no risk, where the potential of income is 9.5%, 10%. And also there is a limitation of fixed deposits. When we talk about a 10 years fixed deposit, the rates are lower than 2 years fixed deposits. So there is no guarantee of continuity of rates. Maybe currently I am enjoying a 8% return on a 2-year fixed deposit. When the fixed deposit matures, will there be enough opportunity to redeploy that money at 8%? If interest goes down to 6% or 5% at that point of time, my money which is matured at 8% will again have to be reinvested at 5%. Whereas in the non-convertible debentures of horizon of 8 years, 10 years, 5 years, where I can lock higher interest for a higher period of time. Now, is this non-convertible debentures, how do I understand the risk associated with it? Because Indian people, we have a aversion towards private investments, and these non-convertible debentures are issued by private enterprises like Tata, like Reliance, like Edelweiss, like India Infoline, India Bulls, and a number of other housing finance companies, Muthoot Finance, Manappuram, into different line of businesses. There is a system of rating which they follow. AAA plus is the highest amount of rating, but generally an instrument with AAA plus enjoys 8% kind of a return. Up to A is considered safe in this country, up to A rating. At a A rating paper, the chances of return, the returns are at the range of 9 to 10%. So yes, that is how we measure the risk. And after the ILFS debacle, or what happened, the Reserve Bank of India has ensured that when an NCD is issued by a company, a collateral amount equivalent to that amount of issue has to be kept with a third-party independent trustee as and when deemed fit by Reserve Bank of India. So in case there's a situation where a private enterprise fails, the dues of its debentures will be repaid by the collateral liquidation by the third-party agency. So yes, it's secure. Then there are structured products. A lot of people of us are averse to investment in equity because there is a fear of capital loss. There are products in the market which say, sir, your capital is guaranteed. Even if stock market becomes zero, I will give you your capital back and I'll give you an enhanced return as and when proportionate to the growth of the stock market. Again, there are products which say that not only I'll give you capital guarantee, I'll invest your money into equity market and I'll guarantee you a 6% return, which is the minimum FD return. But if the market gives you return more than 6% a year, I'll give you that as well. So yes, there are other ways where you can capitalize, which are called structured product. Going ahead, Saket.
Yes, sir.
Quicker.
I think AIF and PMS already you have covered.
AIF, I have told, these are 1 crore ticket size products. These are they're in private. There are different categories. In real estate also, there are beautiful alternative investment fund which has a return potential of 18 to 20%. 18 to 20%. We have a history. We know that a real estate, suppose, Saket, if I ask you what is the cost of a flat in Patna?
Average is 16 to 18 average.
Lakhs.
No, 60. If you buy purchasing a flat in
Flat in
somewhere
a
else,
prime location, I guess it will be 1.5 crore.
1.5 crore prime location.
What will be the rent? 50,000 rupees a month, 60,000 rupees a month.
Yeah, for commercial purposes, maximum can be 50. For residential, it's 20K.
So basically, my real estate investment, if I buy a flat and put it on rent, we have analyzed across Bangalore, Mumbai, Calcutta, Pune, the returns doesn't beat 4.5%. So a lot of us has a misnomer that I'm investing in real estate by investing in a flat. No. Sir, if you're investing in a land, if you're investing in a house where there's an associated land which can be developed later into a high rise, yes, you have actually invested in the right amount of real estate, right class of real estate. But if you're buying a flat, it's a depreciable asset. If you put on rent, you are not going to make more than 4.5%, which is barely the return of a savings bank account. Savings bank account is more liquid. A flat is not liquid. But we do the mistake. We have a commercial real estate fund which only invests in premium office spaces, where you have been successful in generating 18 to 20% return with zero risk. In debt, there are AIFs, which is, as I said, that CC, which is a structured credit program, where the returns are in the tune of 14 to 18% with very limited risk. And as I said, Discovery Fund has a history of generating 35%. We discussed PMS also. Going ahead.
That's all.
Thank you. These are the different kind of products. I guess, as I said, that if I want to double my money in 6 years, 7 years, mutual funds is good enough. Large cap mutual funds are good enough. If I want to double my money, in 2 years, 3 years, I should have a significant allocation in small cap. If I have the resource to allocate more than 50 lakhs investment, I should look at portfolio management services. If I have the resource and capability to allocate more than 1 crore towards investment, and I have the expectation that my money with an extra amount of risk should double in 2 years, then I should be investment in AIF. If I want a long-term solution where I want around 18 to 20% kind of a return, we have AIFs, which again invest in commercial real estate and gives that kind of return yearly. If we want with zero risk, 12 to 13% return, we have a debt multi-asset offering, which is called NARS, Nuvama Absolute Return Strategy, where 70% of the investment is into government treasury bills, and it is liquid. I can take out my money after 3 months. No questions asked. In that product, we have been delivering 12 to 13% return. Minimum investment is again 1 year. So Nuvama is known for this kind of boutique investment products, where we have been a pioneer. Just to give you a perspective about my company, we are in the top 2 wealth managers of this country. We manage around 3 lakh crore of client asset. If I talk about our marquee clients, Godrej is one of the houses, Hero Honda is one of the houses, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is one of the investment families, Ashish Kacholia, then Piramal. We have enjoyed the trust of a lot of corporates. We as a company has been existing for last 2 decades. Although we are offering our full wealth management solution for last 4 years, we are associated with 48 to 50 products. Now we have a product committee where each product has to appear for a test in front of our product committee. If the committee clears, only then that product gets enlisted with us. Be it any kind of product, be it a mutual fund, be it a AIF, be it a PMS. We are a product neutral company. When we meet your representative, we will not only be talking about Nuvama products, we will talk about the best possible solution that is available in the market. We are tied up with everybody from ICICI to HDFCs to JM to any fund houses that we can think about, only to bring the product neutrality to our clients. That my advice should not be restricted to only Nuvama products. If my company's product is doing the best, I'll highlight it to you. Rest, it's up to you. And obviously, as Saket said, that we follow a portfolio-based approach. It's not that you have to invest through us. If you allow us time and patience, we might have a look at your existing portfolio. If you're doing everything good, then like a true doctor, we will say that your portfolio health, your financial health is fine. You don't need any medicine, no exercises, nothing. Enjoy your life. If we feel there's a difference we can create in your portfolio, we can enhance the efficiency of the portfolio. Yes, we'll give you suggestions. It's up to you whether to take or not. So that's how we approach. We don't talk about a product, we talk about a comprehensive portfolio. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And I'm blessed that I got to present it. Saket, thank you.
Thank you, Sandip sir. Wonderful, wonderful presentation. And we got the solution of our queries. And we came to know through your seven thumbs rule and how to invest properly. And I have practically experienced the gain through your person. So I thought that there should be one webinar from your director and manager. So he has managed. We are very lucky to listen from you and all the guidelines you have given. And exactly what we wanted to know that how we should think while making investment so that in short time we can get more profit. And you have given us great solutions also. And you have actually told that you are giving advices, and suppose someone is doing good. So you will be saying that there is no medicine required, and suppose some suggestion is required, you will be suggesting, and you will be means I'm very unfortunate that I have started this investment venture at this stage. That at this stage, well, if I would had started this earlier, just Saket has given example of Ram and Sham, so I would have gained more. And Dr. Upendranath Bora Sahab has told everything in very short time. I want to listen the comment on today's webinar from our eminent eminent participants. So बोरा साहब आप क्या बोलेंगे, कैसा इन्होंने बताया बोरा साहब?
So it was really interesting and I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू. काल
Thank you,
शेट्टी
sir.
साहब, काल शेट्टी साहब, काल शेट्टी साहब, आपको कैसा लगा काल शेट्टी साहब?
सर बहुत अच्छा रहा सर. सेशन प्रेजेंटेशन वाज इन डिटेल. ये LIC से मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस से ये भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट था सर. बट स्टॉक मार्केट जिसको इंटरेस्ट है उन्होंने ज्यादा सेशन अटेंड करना चाहिए सर. बट ये सब सर अच्छे प्रेजेंटेशन में बताया था कि ये रिस्क मैनेजमेंट भी वो देख के कैसा ये करना चाहिए. बट वेरी यूजफुल दिस सेशन सर. एंड एक थिंकिंग करने के लिए और प्लानिंग करने के लिए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट था. थैंक यू वेरी मच सर. कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन टू our honorable speakers, and also Saket is also helped in how the session will become effective. Thank you very much sir.
Thank you, sir.
सर हमारे जब मैं स्टेट फूड कॉर्पोरेशन में इंटरनल ऑडिटर था, ऑडिट अफसर बना बाद में, तब उसमें हमारे विजय राघवन साहब वॉज द डायरेक्टर जनरल. सो उन्होंने what he did that पैसा जो ग्रांट आता था उसमें से सेविंग कर करके उन्होंने फिर मतलब ऐसा इन्वेस्टमेंट पोर्टफोलियो बना लिया जिससे लोगों की सारी सैलरी उसके इंटरेस्ट से कवर हो जाता था. उन्होंने बड़ा इंटेलिजेंट अप्रोच अपनाया और एक नया वेंचर शुरू किया. एंड ही टोल्ड दैट फॉर गिविंग फॉर मीटिंग द एस्टैब्लिशमेंट कॉस्ट वी डिड नॉट आस्क गवर्नमेंट टू गिव फ्रॉम हिज इन्वेस्टमेंट ओनली. उसका पूरा कॉस्ट आ जाता था. तो वी शुड इन्वेस्ट इन सच ए वे दैट ओवरहेड एक्सपेंडिचर एंड अदर एक्सपेंडिचर वी शुड बी मीटिंग थ्रू इंटरेस्ट एंड डिबेंचर्स. And ये जैसा बोरा साहब ने बताया, रियल इस्टेट में भी यदि हम लोग लगा के कुछ रख दें तो मनी बहुत अच्छा ग्रो करता है। गोल्ड में भी लगाएं, गोल्ड में भी उसके पोजीशन को देखते हुए। तो अब तो बस कुछ एज हम लोग का ज्यादा हो गया, तो ये चीज हम लोगों को पहले यदि संदीप और ये साकेत मिले होते तो हम लोग पहले शुरू किए होते तो हम लोग को ज्यादा लाभ होता। तो
अमिताभ सर, इट्स नेवर टू लेट। अगर आप देखोगे तो वारेन बफेट की जो टोटल इन्वेस्टमेंट अर्निंग है ना, दैट कम्स आफ्टर 25 इयर्स। अभी भी ऐसे प्रोडक्ट्स है जो कि आपकी लाइफ टाइम के लिए अभी भी आपको एक अच्छी रिटर्न बना के दे सकती है। तो आज का सेशन एक बेसिक इंट्रोडक्शन था, बट ऑन द प्रोडक्ट वाइज डिटेल ऑन द बेसिक, अगर आप चाहोगे वी कैन अरेंज सम अदर सेशन आल्सो वेयर वी विल गो प्रोडक्ट स्पेसिफिक वेबिनार्स।
नहीं, तो हम लोग प्रोडक्ट स्पेसिफिक चाहेंगे कि इस शेयर को खरीदो। उसमें भी हम अपने बोरा साहब और कालशेट्टी साहब को बुलाएंगे और उसमें हम जानेंगे कि कौन कौन सा शेयर हम खरीदें जिससे कि हमको जल्दी लाभ हो। अभी हमने कुमार गौरव ने एक दिन फोन किया कि जल्दी से सर 3900 रुपया 3936 है हिंदुस्तान एरोनॉटिक्स का रेट। हमने उसको लगाया और 10 दिन के बाद उसका रेट 5200 हो गया, 5200। अभी कितना मालूम नहीं। तो ये 10 दिन में हमने सोचा कि भाई ये 55,200 माइनस 3,900, 1200 का बेनिफिट पर शेयर हो गया। तो हमने सोचा कि यार ये तो अच्छी दुनिया है, इसमें तो ध्यान लगाना चाहिए। और फिर हमने ध्यान लगाना शुरू किया और फिर हम लोगों के वार्तालाप के तहत में और हम लोगों ने बेल का खरीदा, बेल का 100 शेयर खरीदा और 100 शेयर खरीदने पे उसका भी शेयर हमने 236 में खरीदा, 305 हो गया 10 दिन के अंदर। अभी इलेक्शन में कुछ कम हो गया था और इस तरह से हमने देखा कि ये शेयर मार्केट में डीलिंग करना तो बहुत अच्छा है। तो मैंने सोचा कि अपने ग्रुप के लोगों को भी ये अवेयर कर दें कि भाई आप इस दुनिया में आओ और इस दुनिया से लाभ उठाओ। तो हम आपका प्रोडक्ट वाइज भी लेक्चर सुनना चाहेंगे कि शेयर में हाँ आप हमको समय दीजिए और समय दे करके और हम प्रोडक्ट वाइज भी सुनेंगे कि किस शेयर में कितना लगाएं। आरबीएनएल का शेयर भी हम सुन रहे हैं कि बहुत अच्छा, मतलब आरबीएल ग्रो कर रहा है।
सर मैं प्रोडक्ट वाइज पे जाऊंगा, मैं एक छोटा सा ये चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगा। छोटा सा एक चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगा कि अभी जितने लोग भी यहाँ सेशन अटेंड किए होंगे वो कहीं ना कहीं पहले कुछ ना कुछ इन्वेस्ट जरूर कर रहे होंगे। तो जैसे संदीप सर ने कहा कि हम लोग जो है आपके पोर्टफोलियो को देख के ये एनालाइज करके आपको रिकमेंडेशंस भी देते हैं। तो हमारे पास जो ऑलरेडी हमारा एक मार्स करके प्लेटफॉर्म है जहाँ पे कि अगर आप अपना करेंट अकाउंट स्टेटमेंट जो कि आपको जनरली आप जो भी इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं ना, तो उसका एक कैश करके आपके मेल पे आता है। कैश करके जब आप अपने मेल में सर्च करोगे तो वो आता है। अगर नहीं भी आता तो हम लोग हेल्प कर सकते हैं कि उसको कैसे जनरेट करना है। तो अगर आप वो प्रोवाइड करो तो हम जो है हर क्लाइंट स्पेसिफिक जो है आपको एक रिकमेंडेशन भी प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं कि आपकी पोर्टफोलियो में क्या क्या चेंजेस होना चाहिए, क्या एड ऑन होना चाहिए, क्या आप नया ले सकते हैं, सारा चीज पे सर।
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया। पारितोष पाठक आप कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे? पारितोष पाठक यू वांट टू आस्क समथिंग? आप कुछ बोलेंगे? हमारे जोशी साहब उमेश चंद्र जोशी जी,
बहुत अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन था साकेत जी का, संदीप जी का, और जिस तरीके से दोनों वक्ताओं ने इन्वेस्टमेंट के बारे में बताया और किस प्रकार हम स्टॉक में, बॉन्ड्स में, रियल इस्टेट में, कैश और भी जो हमारे वार्ताकार थे श्री उपेंद्र बोरा साहब, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा बताया कि अगर सबसे ज़्यादा तो इन जो आउटकम है, बेनिफिट है, वो लैंड्स में है और गोल्ड्स वगैरह, गोल्ड में है। ये तो एक अच्छी बात है और इन सब बातों को मिलके अगर हम देखें कि इन्वेस्टमेंट बहुत ज़रूरी है, जिस प्रकार से आने वाले समय में हम आज से अगर तय कर लें कि कितना हम इन्वेस्ट करें, अगर हमें जो कुछ भी हमारी इनकम है उसमें कितना परसेंट इनकम हम उसमें एक्सपेंड करें, and how much we have to keep it reserve or invest in some asset, stock, real estate, cash, so FD, etc. So this is very good. And those who are intelligent people, they always think of future, and in the future we can save, make safe only when we invest in different assets. So this is what we have learned today, and such talks are very very valuable for all type of listeners, audience, because everyone is interested to keep his or her future safe. So thank you, Sandeep ji, and thanks, Saket sir, for your very
Thank you, sir.
informative and valuable talk on investment. I request Amitabh ji to invite these two learned gentlemen near future also, because their talk of limited time is good for us, but if it is continued in one or more talks are given to them to deliver, it will be very very useful and will benefit to all the audience. So thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you. Our great scholar, Dr. Vidyanath Jha from Delhi, he has also come. Vidyanath Jha ji, what you want to say about this? Because you have come late, so if you want to say something, please say. Vidyanath Jha ji. Vidyanath Jha ji, international scholar. विद्यानाथ झा जी, विद्यानाथ झा जी, आप क्या बोलेंगे? विद्यानाथ झा जी, डॉक्टर बीएन झा, डॉक्टर बीएन झा, प्लीज से समथिंग.
I think,
अच्छा,
sir, I think
हाँ,
Abhay Krishna ji has raised his
अभय
hand.
कृष्णा साहब फ्रॉम राजस्थान, फ्रॉम उदयपुर. अभय कृष्णा साहब, यू वांट? हाँ, बोलिए सर. अभय कृष्णा साहब, अभय कृष्णा
So first
साहब.
of all, yeah, yes, sir. First of all, sir, many thanks to share this type of knowledge regarding the investment. As we know that the investment is a requirement just like a family. जिस तरीके से एक आदमी को फैमिली की जरूरत पड़ती है, इन्वेस्टमेंट की एक जरूरत नॉर्मल लाइफ में जरूरत हो चुकी है. That's a very good thing, sir. Sir, I have the one question, sir. I was not question, though. I know your, I want your suggestion. सर, मैंने एक स्कीम में इन्वेस्टमेंट किया म्यूचुअल फंड में, आदित्य बिरला में, टैक्स रिलीफ 96, एंड एट प्रेजेंट वी आर गेटिंग द 12% पर ईयर.
Okay.
इट दिस इज अ गुड.
सर, फर्स्ट थिंग कि आपने जो एविएशन टैक्स सेवर में डाला है, तो आपका
जी सर.
आप उसको सिर्फ टैक्स बेसिस के लिए डाला कि टैक्स सेविंग के पर्पज से डाला या इन्वेस्टमेंट पर्पज से डाला है?
पहला जो दिया था मैंने टैक्स सेविंग पर्पस भी था और इन्वेस्टमेंट भी था कि मेरा
अभी
टैक्स भी सर्विस हो जाएगा और इन्वेस्टमेंट भी रहेगा.
हाँ, तो अभी करेंटली जो है आपका जो टैक्स का है, आप क्या वर्किंग हो, आप क्या आपका जो 1.5 लाख आप एटीसी में सेव करना चाह रहे हो, तो उसके लिए आप कहीं और भी
मैं वो
और इन्वेस्टमेंट है
नहीं
आपका?
सर, हाँ एडिशनल इन्वेस्टमेंट भी है सर मेरा.
तो अभी देखिए बेसिकली क्या है कि 12%, एज आई ऑलवेज से 12% फॉर बेसिकली क्या है कि इसमें जितने भी ईएलएसएस फंड है इसमें लॉकिंग के साथ आते हैं. तो आप ये एसआईपी मोड में हो या फिर आप लमसम मोड में हो?
एसआईपी मोड में है सर.
तो मैं आपको एक रिकमेंडेशन दूंगा सर कि आप एसआईपी मोड में रोक दो इसको, ईएलएसएस को. ईएलएसएस आपको अगर सेविंग करना है, अगर टैक्स सेविंग पर्पज से करना है, तो आप उससे बेहतर है कि आप वहां पे नॉर्मल एसआईपी चलाओ और टैक्स सेविंग पर्पज के लिए आप दूसरे इंस्ट्रूमेंट को यूज करो सर.
ओके,
वेरी
तो वी हैव टू, इसको हमको स्टॉप करना है.
हाँ, ये आप जो है इंस्ट्रूमेंट को स्टॉप करो. मैं गौरव, अमिताभ जी को मैं अपना नंबर दे दूंगा. आप एक बार अपना पोर्टफोलियो मेरे साथ शेयर करना. मैं इसको देख के आपको प्रॉपर आपकी जो इनकम टैक्स पार्ट को भी जो कैसे कवर किया जाएगा वो भी देख के इन डिटेल से मैं आपको बता दूंगा.
श्योर सर, श्योर. थैंक यू फॉर दिस सर. मैं अमिताभ सर से नंबर ले लूंगा.
ठीक है,
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया. ये बेनिफिशियल बात हो गई. अब हमारे
एक्चुअली क्या है सर,
हाँ,
अभी एक्चुअली क्या है सर, मैंने एलआईसी में भी इन्वेस्ट किया है 32,000, एक 25,000, एक 6,000 का. एक चाइल्ड रेंट पॉलिसी है बजाज एलायंस का.
इसीलिए मैं पूछा
म्यूचुअल
इसलिए मैं
फंड
आपसे पूछा कि आपको एटीसी की रिक्वायरमेंट है या नहीं है, क्योंकि जनरली क्या होता है
नहीं,
लोगों को
अगर
पता नहीं होता है और वो जो है लाइफ इंश्योरेंस के लिए होते हैं और उसके बाद भी टैक्स सेविंग फंड में पैसा डाल देते हैं. तो वो पैसा उसका आपका क्या होता है, आपका हर यूनिट जो है, हर मंथ एसआईपी जो है अगले 3 साल के लिए ब्लॉक है.
यस सर, यस सर.
हाँ, तो वो इसलिए फिर ELSS का वो जरूरत ही नहीं। अगर आप ATC में कहीं और इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हो तो आप ELSS म्यूचुअल फंड में मत डालो।
We have to stop this first.
यस सर।
वेरी वेल सेड साकेत, वेरी वेल सेड, बिकॉज आप
तो
खुद गूगल करके देखोगे अभय जी, आपकी जो
Yes,
टीम है
sir.
आदित्य बिरला, इट इज जनरेटिंग एन हिस्ट्री ऑफ रिटर्न ऑफ 13%, 12.5%, 14% on a higher side. In the same
Okay.
period of time, last 3 years, there are multiple mutual funds which have delivered more than 20% return. तो म्यूचुअल फंड खराब नहीं है, आपकी ये पर्टिकुलर फंड इज नॉट डूइंग दैट गुड. इनफैक्ट अगर ELSS कैटेगरी में ही मैं कंपेयर करूं, कैनाडा रोबेको का एक ELSS फंड है which is delivering 18% रिटर्न, 5% ज्यादा. अगर मेरे को ELSS ही करना है तो मैं उसमें करूंगा, इसमें नहीं. तो यार साकेत राइटली सेड, ये SIP बंद करके we will suggest you a good fund based on your opinion. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, I will contact with you, sir.
Okay.
So thank you.
थैंक यू, बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत
बहुत
बढ़िया,
बढ़िया।
बेनिफिशियल वेबिनार, वेरी गुड. एंड डॉक्टर विद्यानाथ झा जी आ गए हैं.
हाँ हाँ
विद्यानाथ झा
हाँ हाँ
जी, आप बताइए, आपकी विद्वता की जरूरत है.
हाँ हाँ हाँ. नमस्कार सभी लोगों को, नमस्कार. एक तो मैं ये देख रहा था कि आमतौर पर जो विद्या व्यवसाय से लोग जुड़े हुए रहते हैं वो इन चीजों से दूर रहते हैं, जो हम
हाँ
लोग
जी.
देखते हैं. लेकिन
हाँ.
लेकिन लेकिन समाज तो पूरा जीवन तो हमारा उससे चलता नहीं है. आर्थिक पहलुओं पर भी ध्यान देना ही पड़ता है. इसीलिए श्री अमिताभ प्रसाद जी ने जो कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया, इसके लिए मैं इन्हें बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ. हम लोग भी इससे काफ़ी लाभान्वित होंगे. हम चाहेंगे कि साकेत जी का नंबर मुझे मिले ताकि उनसे बात करें. और जीवन के हर क्षेत्र पर, हर पहलू पर नज़र रखना भी जरूरी होता है, जो इस अभी के वेबिनार के माध्यम से ये रखा गया है. और बहुत सारी हमारी जो ज़रूरतें हैं उनकी पूर्ति होगी, हम इससे इनलाइटेंड होंगे और हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. नंबर जरा दिया जाए साकेत जी.
सर मैंने चैट में अपना नंबर डाल दिया है.
ये लिख लीजिए, 6204333467.
487
62045
6204333 487
6204433
487.
487. ठीक है, धन्यवाद.
सर इसको ग्रुप में डाल दीजिएगा.
मैं चैट में डाल दिया हूँ अभय जी, मैंने भी चैट बॉक्स में डाला है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. जिनको भी
बहुत
फिनेंशियल
बहुत बहुत
एडवाइस
बहुत
लेना
धन्यवाद.
हो, ये संदीप जी और साकेत जी से ले सकते हैं. और मैं साकेत जी और संदीप जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि एक प्रोडक्ट वाइज, जो अभी साकेत जी ने कहा था, उस पर भी हम लोगों को बताएंगे. एक वेबिनार हम 1 वीक या 2 वीक बाद उसको ऑर्गेनाइज करना चाहेंगे.
आप कन्वीनियंट टाइम निकाल के मुझे बता देना.
हाँ, 2 वीक के बाद, 2 वीक के बाद वाला संडे आपके लिए हम रिजर्व कर लेंगे. तो उस समय हम लोग सुनेंगे. हम अपने बोरा साहब को बार बार नमस्कार करते हैं, उन्होंने आकर हमारा उत्साह बढ़ाया. कालशेट्टी साहब को बार बार नमस्कार करते हैं, उन्होंने आके उत्साह बढ़ाया. जोशी जी, अभय कृष्णा साहब, संदीप जी, उपेंद्र साहब, सभी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देते हैं. अभय कृष्णन जी और हमारे चंद्रेश्वर खान और ये बाकी लोग आज कहीं कहीं मीटिंग में फंस गए, वो नहीं आ पाए. लेकिन जिन्होंने मिस किया उन लोगों को बोलेंगे कि इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग जरूर देख लेंगे, और इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग देखने के बाद भी बहुत बातें समझ में आएंगी. बाद में बहुत अच्छा आपका वेबिनार रहा, बहुत इफेक्टिव रहा, और हम लोगों को इससे बहुत लाभ हुआ. और अगले संडे को हम लोग फिर मिलेंगे. स्वर्णजीत सिंह और देशमुख साहब बताएंगे कि व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ माइक्रोबायोलॉजिकल सोसाइटी इन द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स एंड कंट्री एज ए होल, नेशन एज ए होल. ये भी सुनेंगे. और हम लोग इन्वेस्टमेंट में अब रुचि रखने लगे हैं, और इसका श्रेय कुमार गौरव को जाता है. कुमार गौरव जी, आपके चलते ही हमारा भी इन्वेस्टमेंट हुआ, और इतना बढ़िया वेबिनार और संदीप जी और साकेत जी को सुनने को मिला. हम चाहेंगे अब अगले मीटिंग में भी आए. और मैं भूपेंद्र बोरा साहब से और कालशेट्टी साहब से प्रार्थना करूंगा कि वो लोग भी, प्रार्थना करूंगा, रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वो लोग फिर आकर के हमारा उत्साह बढ़ाएंगे बढ़ाएंगे। और 2 मिनट के इंट्रोडक्शन में ही उपेंद्र बोरा साहब ने जितनी बातें कह दी थी, वो मतलब पूरे वेबिनार को कवर करता था। और कुछ एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन भी हम लोगों ने सीखा। बोरा साहब को बार बार नमस्कार, कालशेट्टी साहब को बार बार नमस्कार, विद्यानाथ झा जी के विद्वता को फिर से नमस्कार, और अभय कृष्णन जी को नमस्कार, संदीप और उपेंद्र जी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, जोशी जी को प्रणाम। अगली बार फिर हम लोग मिलेंगे। विनय शुक्ला जी वेलकम। और बाकी कुछ लोग चले गए, तो सभी जितने लोग आए थे सबको धन्यवाद, सबको प्रणाम। और जितना ज्ञान हम लोगों को संदीप जी और उपेंद्र जी ने दिया, उसके लिए सबको प्रणाम। और हम फिर अगले वीक मिलेंगे। और हमारे बाकी वेबिनार में भी आप दोनों आया करें। संदीप जी और ये साकेत जी, आप दोनों को भी हम अपने वेबिनार ग्रुप में शामिल करते हैं, विथ योर काइंड परमिशन।
ठीक है।
Yes, sir. Thank you. That
ओके
will be an honor
ओके।
for us.
हाँ, तो आप दोनों अपना हमको नंबर दे दीजिएगा।
गौरव
और इन्वेस्टमेंट, हाँ, और इन्वेस्टमेंट का जब भी कोई हमारे पास वेबिनार होगा, हम आप दोनों को याद करेंगे। और आज इसमें हमारे चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट भी आ गए थे, सोनाली किशोर भी आ गई थी, और एक BL राजू जो इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट के सेक्रेटरी हैं, उनको भी मैंने बुलाया था, लेकिन वो किसी काम में फंस गए, नहीं आ पाए। तो हम लोग फिर अगले वीक मिलेंगे। और मैं जोशी जी से कहूंगा कि समापन मैंने धन्यवाद सबको दे दें। जोशी जी, उमेश जोशी जी।
थैंक यू अमिताभ
उम,
जी। बहुत अच्छा आज
हाँ।
का लेक्चर रहा, जो आप हमारे मुख्य वार्ताकार थे श्री साकेत कुमार जी और संदीप जी ने बहुत ही अच्छी वार्ता दी। और रियली इन लोगों ने एक प्रोफेशनल ढंग से और एक विषय को इतना सरल बनाया कि आम व्यक्ति जिसको कि अकाउंट्स की या कॉमर्स की नॉलेज नहीं है, इन्वेस्टमेंट की नॉलेज नहीं है, उसके लिए भी इस बहुत ही अच्छा रहा और सभी के ज्ञान वर्धन हुआ। तो श्री संदीप जी और श्री साकेत जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद के पात्र हैं। और हम दोनों महान भावों से रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि प्लीज़ कम नेक्स्ट टाइम, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर अवेलेबिलिटी एंड टाइम, and to deliver some more information on investment. Because if you see the stock, if you invest in stock, bonds, real estate, and cash, is fixed deposit, etc., you can save your future also. You can make your future bright. So with this, thanks to Sandeep ji and Saket ji.
Thank
My
you so much.
thanks to our chief guest Upendra Bora sahab, retired IAS officer, a very nice and thorough gentleman who all wherever he goes, people appreciate. So because of knowledge and skills he has, and so simple, so learned person. And I am grateful to Dr. Upendra Bora sahab. I am grateful to Mallinath Kalshetti Saab, who happens to be Director General of YASHDA Pune, and his presence always makes us all very involved in the webinar, whatever the subject may be. I am grateful to Dr. Vidyanath ji, sir. He is a scientist, very learned person, and the person who has done a lot of work in the environment, ecology, makhana, and other important issues related to botanical related issues. And his presence always may make us very interesting in the webinar. And whenever he comes, Dr. Vidyanath comes to deliver lecture, I have seen that many of his students also are involved and always get valuable learning from his lecture. So once again, I am grateful to all the audience, Subrat Jyoti Sarkar Sahab, Abhay Krishna Mishra Sahab, Vinay ji, Kumar Gaurav Sahab, and Paritosh Pathak ji, others who are still here listening, listening and learning also regarding investments on assets bonds, real estate, cash, etc., fixed deposit, etc. So with this, I conclude. I am grateful for Amitabh Prasad ji for organizing such valuable talks and lecture. Hope that in next Sunday or Saturday we'll all assemble and we'll get more information. We'll make our personality better in the sense that we have learned, and if a person who is supposed to be sagacious, who's supposed to be thinker, always in need of learning, and most of the learning we can do by reading books in the company of great persons, but listening such type of valuable webinars, we get lot of information. So thank you, Amitabh ji. Thank you to all of you who have assembled and participated in this webinar. Thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. Thank
Thanks,
you,
sir.
sir. Thank you. And for the wonderful conclusion, and thanks. And we shall be meeting next time with new subject. सभी को प्रणाम, सभी को प्रणाम, सभी को प्रणाम. हम लोग फिर मिलेंगे. गौरव जी